Hello, everyone. I'm James Milan. Welcome to the DPCD update. That's our Department of Planning and Community Development. And I get to talk to Clara Ricker, the director of that department, who is newly freed from town meeting marathon. Quite a long session this year, Claire, huh?
Oh yes, the 8 nights it was a long one.
Well, congratulations to you, the planning department, and all of town meeting for getting so much business done. And congratulations also for knowing that you got a few months, at least, if not a year, almost a year, before you need to do it again. So enjoy that. But let's get down to business. We have, as always, a bunch of things to talk about. We want to talk about an ADU or accessory dwelling units, an ADU webinar that's coming up. We want to talk about stormwater drain project, stormwater drain mural project, which is nice. There's a Bluebikes update. There's an Arlington Heights Business District news to share, and a reminder for that we'll put in at the end. But we want to start off with one of my favorite acronyms still, AMPUp, and the advisory committee update for AMPUp.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, AMPUp, or the Arlington Master Plan Update Advisory Committee, has been selected. We received 32 applications for 13 spots, so it was not easy to come up with the committee. But we think we have a great group of people with a lot of experience, both in Arlington and in their working lives, and before they came to Arlington. It's a great group of people who maybe haven't been involved in other town boards and committees previously, but that was sort of by design. We wanted to get to hear some different voices as part of this advisory committee. And it is an advisory committee. I mean, this is a group that is going to be working with our consultant and with the community, to ultimately define the vision and preferences of Arlington that will be, expressed through a master plan. We also anticipate putting together some working groups as part of this process, which would be far more topic specific, related to the required sections of a master plan. So there's still plenty of opportunity for people to get involved with this 2-year process. The next steps, we're going to move forward with trying to select our professional planning consultant who's going to help us with this process. Staff at DPCD are currently drafting a request for proposals, or an RFP, for the consultant, and the first meeting of the advisory group will be in mid-June to review that draft RFP, with the idea that we will have it out by the end of July and have a consultant under contract by November. And once the consultant's on board, we'll really begin to do community engagement in earnest, and that will start in late 2024, probably early 2025.
Sounds good. And obviously 32 people willing to commit a large amount of time, because I remember what this was like last time around. It's a serious commitment of time and effort. Great that 32 people were willing to do that, and that you've selected 13. Hopefully the tough part is over. Well, that tough part is over, and more to come. But really a great sign, and obviously we will be talking about this for a good long while to come. Congratulations on getting to this point.
Thanks.
So let's talk about accessory dwelling units. I just can't help but mention that this very morning at breakfast, I was with a friend who lives in another town, and he was very curious about where the accessory dwelling units, what the situation is in Arlington. And so I'll tell him about this webinar, among other things. But
I was going to say that the good news for your friend is, and for honestly everybody in Arlington that's looking to do an ADU, the town is hosting, along with Equitable Arlington, an ADU webinar on June 12th to discuss the ins and outs of building an ADU. And so it's really aimed at demystifying the zoning and the construction process. And the panel is just amazing. You're going to hear from Mike Champa, who's the Director of Inspectional Services, Pat Hanlon from the Zoning Board of Appeals, Erica Schwartz at HCA. They just installed an ADU at their Dorothy Road property. may have seen some press around that. Sarah Suarez from my department, our housing specialist, and Ed McDonald of McDonald Construction. So it's a great panel. I expect it to be very informative and hopefully answer a lot of these questions around, how do I even get started on building an ADU? So again, it's on June 12th at 7:30 via Zoom. And if you can't make it on the 12th, of course, we'll post the webinar on the website after the session.
Great, definitely a hot topic. So excellent to know that. Let's talk about stormwater from a very different perspective than we often do.
Sure. This is a very interesting project. I think I had it in my mind that the stormwater drain murals would be painted right on the stormwater drains, but no, that's not the case. The project is a collaboration between the Arlington Commission for Arts and Culture and the Department of Planning and Community Development. And what it is local artists are designing new murals adjacent to storm drains to raise awareness around where those storm drains are draining to. So, for example, there are two murals that are located in the sidewalk next to the drains at Brooks Ave and Lake Street. That drain drains into Spy Pond, and then at Norcross and North Union Street, that drains into the Mystic River. So there's going to be some pretty spectacular art next to these drains to, like I said, raise awareness about where they're going. We really hope to extend this project, pending funding into the next year. It's just such a cool thing. Additionally, residents are encouraged to join the Adopt a Drain program, another sort of way to help out with this stormwater that's draining to our cherished water bodies. And so folks can go to the town website, adopt a storm drain. You can name the storm drain. My favorite name I've seen so far is Drain the Rock Johnson, which is pretty good. So you just go to the website, pick a drain, close to your house, and just agree to, be a steward of the drain, keep it free of leaves, and make sure that it's not overflowing. Let DPW know if something's going on. Go to the website, pick your drain, give it a name, and like I said, we're hoping to do even more murals next year, pending funding. But this is a really cool project, and hopefully people will, join into this Adopt a Drain program as well. We already have over 200 drains that have been adopted, which is astonishing to me. But 200 folks have already signed up to do this.
That's a lot of names. I bet there may be some contenders for Drain the Rock, but I agree with you. That's a good one. Also love the idea that the murals are, as you just said, it kind of has that additional element of connecting or of informing people about the connection between where those storms are actually, or the drains are actually draining to. That's right. Great. All right, we've got a little bit more to cover still, including the fact that Bluebikes are back and in force, obviously, and we're coming into the big months for that. So we've got some more locations, I think, to talk about.
We do. We're really excited to have Bluebikes back in Arlington. The ridership is good. And we do, see a lot of folks, using the bikes to go back and forth at trips in Arlington, and of course, back and forth to the Red Line station. It does seem like, a lot of Arlingtonians are really getting a lot of use out of the program. So we're expanding. We're expanding Bluebike Station Network thanks to a grant from the MPO for approximately $91,000. And so 3 new 11-dock stations will be located off street, which is great for year-round operation, which means that we won't be pulling the stations, for the winter. People will still be able to access the bikes throughout the winter. And so those 3 locations are Mill Street at the Bikeway, Lake Street at the Bikeway, and Medford Street at Warren Street. The stations should come online sometime this summer. We'll let people know when the bikes are ultimately available. And DPCD continues to seek additional grant funds from Mass DOT Shared Street and Spaces program and other grant programs to better, to help us support this Bluebikes program. And if we are awarded these grants, we think we can double the town's Bluebike stations from 6 to 12 over the next 18 months to 2 years, which would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will just add that, the bike path itself has been more accessible thanks to DPCD and planning and the DPW as well. It's been more accessible throughout the winter months than it ever was before
Mm.
in recent years. So now people really will not just have access to the bikes, but know, that for a large part of that time, under relatively normal conditions, you can really make use of the bikes and the bike path. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, just one more item on our official agenda for today, and that is some news about the Arlington Heights Business District.
That's right. So we had our first public event related to the Arlington Heights Business District at the Spring Fling last weekend. I was there with some boards looking for people to, please give some ideas about what they'd like to see in Arlington Heights, looking to, do a zoning project that will, result in, perhaps a little more density in the area, but really looking to modernize commercial spaces in Arlington Heights, such that different kinds of businesses can move in and find space that's acceptable to them. So again, this was our first go at a little public outreach. My favorite part was when a crowd of kids came up and wrote "candy store" on all my Post-its and stuck it on what they would like to see. So candy store was a big winner last Saturday. The ultimate goal of this zoning project, is to create a cohesive business district, with the modern commercial space. But we're very interested in how folks are feeling about the Heights over these last 5 years since we did the Arlington Heights Neighborhood Action Plan, and we are circling back on actions from that plan. But we want to do a check-in with the public to make sure that we're still headed in the right direction.
Yeah, the Spring Fling could have had slightly better weather, we thought, but it was still quite a success. And we at ACMi had a number of visitors who were here for the festivities. So glad that it went well for you as well.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, I think we just have maybe a reminder about something and we may be done.
Yeah, so as a reminder, on May 21st, our fossil fuel-free bylaw went into effect. As the manager, Jim Feeney, mentioned last week. It was the official start of Arlington's participation in the fossil fuel-free demonstration program. And a fact sheet, an informational video, and more can be found on the town's website for those people looking for more information. The fossil fuel-free bylaw prohibits the installation of fossil fuel infrastructure like a gas hookup and equipment in new construction and major renovations in Arlington. It requires that these projects, focus on using electricity as their fuel source rather than a fossil fuel. And of course, as always, kudos to our sustainability coordinator, Talia Fox, and our inspectional services director, Mike Champa, for all of their work educating contractors and the public on this important new bylaw, which is now in effect.
Yay. We've been aiming towards that for a while, I know, so congratulations to all. Okay, Claire, that finishes things as far as I know, but let us ask anything that we missed or anything you'd like to add.
Nothing I can think of today. This was a longer one, so we'll keep working and have more updates next time.
All right. Well, we'll let you start getting ready for next year's town meeting. No, just kidding. Enjoy what feels like free time, I guess, for a little while, Claire, and we will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I have been speaking with Claire Ricker. She is the director of our Department of Planning and Community Development for this DPCD update. We appreciate Claire's time, truly do, and we appreciate yours as well. We'll see you next time.